So like I gave it a couple more months, and then I had a talk with my brother, and we talked, and he told me this line that just really stuck out. He said, "You just gotta take responsibility." And I was like, "Whoo!" That hit me right there.
All right. What's going on? Ziza Connection, episode 25, I believe this one's going to be. I got the homie Jesus in front of me.
Yes,
Jesus,
sir.
how you doing?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Not bad, bro. Not bad.
I'm excited to be here, man. Appreciate the invite and just ready for what's to come.
Yeah, dude. It's nice to have you on. We haven't seen each other and it's been a cool minute, at least since like before COVID happened, for sure. Mm-hmm. And we had like an odd relationship, right? Like we met in a setting that most people don't really find friendships from.
Indeed.
And we met trying to learn Forex.
Yep. So we're both there.
Yeah. And everyone out there is amazing, dude. Everyone from that group is still like family.
Yeah, of course.
Are you still trading?
I am. So I'm not into it heavy just because of all the coaching and other avenues I've pursued. But still definitely keeping in touch with it. How about yourself?
No, I kind of let off of it just because, I decided I'm going to go back to school. So I'll be getting my master's degree and then shooting for my doctorate in psychology.
Sweet.
So it was one of those things where I had to like make a decision to streamline my attention on a few certain things. So this took my attention. My school started taking my attention. And then I got into a relationship right around the time COVID started too. So kind of got to make sure that I have enough headspace for everything.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Is there something like, is that trading something that you think that you'll get back into, or?
I could see myself doing it potentially in the future.
Okay.
Like I still keep up with it. You know what I mean? Like I still check out the charts.
For sure.
Still take a look. I'm still in like some Facebook groups and chime in here and there. And I learned from, I want to say 2 or 3 people before I started learning from Ken and from Blue Cap. And the stuff that I learned at Blue Cap is all stuff that like you can carry with you. You know what I mean? Like they actually teach you what's going on in the market, not just how to look at a chart and trade a chart, but like they teach you what's going on in the world, how to assess different news events. Like what does this going up and this going down actually mean in the real world type shit. Indeed. Which was something that I was like super interested in because I'm a why kind of guy. You know what I mean? Like I got to know the reason behind things or else it won't click.
Yeah.
So that was really nice. The fact that we actually learned something from them that was valuable enough to carry on with you is dope.
Yeah, it was awesome. Even now, like I don't really stay in touch with like the classes that they put out, but I know how to trade and I know how to do the charts, and it's just awesome that you can now, like, you take that with you. It's a skill set. You build that skill set and you just have it with you.
100%. And you can always tap back in the future. You know what I mean? Yeah. Always tap back in.
Definitely.
So just like me, you seem to have like divvied up your focus a little bit. So you have a few different projects going on. I think there's 2 main ones that you kind of got going.
Correct.
One of them is coaching soccer. And if I'm correct, I saw on your Instagram page that you're a midfielder.
Yes.
So are you specifically coaching people who want to be midfielders, or are you working with just anybody who's trying to learn how to be better at soccer?
So I'm working with anyone who's wanting to be better at soccer. The youngest I've had was age 4, and then the oldest I had was around 24, around my age. And it's just really dialing down into their specific roles they're wanting to play.
Right.
Obviously, like I try and coach them to be a better athlete. But then I start to get down to, okay, what position do you play? Start to target those areas so they can better themselves in the desired area they want to play in.
Okay. And how long have you played soccer? Like you've been doing this your whole life?
Crazy thing. No, I started as a baseball player.
No shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was playing baseball up until, like I would say like 12.
Okay.
And then 12, 13 is when I started transitioning into soccer. So I was a late start. My development years in soccer was in high school, and then still working my way through college, finding, building my skills and looking for more opportunities.
And you played at GCU in college.
Correct.
So, damn, dude. So you picked up and got going quick, because like a lot of people can't play at the college level.
Yeah, it's tough. I was struggling to play at GCU actually.
Really?
Yeah. So how I got to GCU was through track and cross country.
Okay.
So I did, like I was playing baseball as a kid, boom, transitioned to soccer when I moved over to my mother's house.
Right.
And then picked up soccer with friends, started getting involved and played through high school, was struggling. High school, wasn't playing varsity, didn't like barely got minutes in my senior year in varsity. Got into college through track and field. I ran my last year in high school for track and field. And because of those times I was able to walk onto a GCU team.
Right.
Wasn't interested in cross country
track. That wasn't a thing you really cared about.
Exactly.
Right.
And so fell off of that and was looking to play. I tried out for the team my freshman year, didn't make it. So then sophomore year comes around. I actually, myself and a couple other buddies of mine, we started the GCU club team there.
Got you.
So with that club team was giving me more game time. It still wasn't the first team.
Right.
So then I tried out the second year, didn't make it. My third year, I left. I transferred over to a D3 college in Boston.
Okay.
And played there.
Okay.
Got some experience, got some resume more behind me. Came back for my fourth year at GCU, and that's when I finally walked on and made it onto the team.
Damn, so you just stayed determined the whole way through, man.
I already had like a plan goal, like this is what I want to play, this is what I want to do. And, I just kept trying and fighting and kept pushing for it.
Dude, that's crazy. Good for you, man. A lot of people don't have that determination because like you fall off and you don't make the team the first 2 times and people are like, maybe this isn't for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Definitely. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What was it about soccer specifically that you like so much?
I picked it up with my friends. I was always an athlete. I always enjoyed sports regardless. Right. I was out playing baseball, football, whatever the case was in parks.
Right.
But soccer really took it when my dad kind of went into prison in 8th grade. That's where I transitioned from baseball. He loved baseball. So that's where my background came from, baseball.
Right.
But that transition when I went into 8th grade, I really enjoyed it. That was when I was at my mother's place. That was when he went into prison. So I enjoyed playing with the friends I had. And it's just that's all I did.
Just because like the love of the game.
Yeah. Well, at the same time, it was like a void I was trying to fill,
right?
Because of that whole moment when he first went in, and he was gone for quite a bit of time, for 10 years.
He's back now.
Yeah, he's back now. But the whole 10 years, just like I had, soccer really kept me out of those bad environments,
like
and
getting into trouble.
Correct.
Right.
And so it just felt right. It felt good. I enjoyed playing every time, and I just started developing insanely, and I just continued on with it.
It's a good thing you found something to put your time towards, because there was like that's especially at that age, like that's an easy way to get yourself into some really bad trouble.
Yeah, I was going right into high school.
Yeah, that's worst time for something like that to happen. So that's really good that you found something that you care about to do.
Correct.
So now you're doing something with a company called. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know a lot about soccer.
No, you're good.
I'm like a football, basketball, UFC kind of guy.
Okay.
And which is weird because I'm Persian. So like, Iranian people love soccer. I just never got into it because I've spent time there. I've spent like maybe 2 years of my life total in Iran. But it was always at like 1 month increments. It was never long enough for me to like really absorb everything about the culture. So I never really got into soccer, but you're doing something with a company called SoccerViza.
Correct.
Okay. And this is a training company.
Yeah, so their whole purpose is to develop players and get them signed.
Okay, so something like an agency?
In a way, yes.
Okay.
They're looking to change the whole scouting perspective of American players and even players around the world. But they're a company that their whole purpose is to find underdog players and who aren't really known and get a contract out of them.
And soccer is one of those things that's interesting to me because majority of other sports, like playing in the United States, being in a professional league in the United States means you're playing at the highest level. Correct. That's not the case with soccer.
No, it's not.
So the MLS is not the best.
It's not.
You don't see the best players in the MLS.
No, you don't.
Where do you see the best players?
Europe.
Really?
Europe, England, Spain. those are like the top leagues right there.
Interesting.
Yes.
And that's bizarre because like you come from the US and you're thinking, okay, like shit, if you play in a professional league in the United States, like you're doing the best you possibly can.
Yeah.
So SoccerViza's goal is to get people playing in Europe, I assume, is trying to get them to play in the highest level league.
Their goal is to get players into the professional world.
Wherever it is.
Anywhere it could be.
Got you.
Into the professional world, get them a contract. That's where they could get started, their foot in the door. And you know, from there on, that depends on the player, how far they're willing to take it. If they're wanting to push, get better, look to pursue other teams, other level of competitions.
Right.
But yeah, that's why, you know, the whole game of soccer is interesting because, you know, that's not the big sport here in the US.
It's not at all, yeah.
Not at all. Yeah. And you got to go outside of the US to find opportunities.
Right.
Over here, the main sports, baseball, basketball, football, those dominating sports are overpowered by either your weight, size, or strength. That's like a huge dominance towards your sport.
That's
in
true.
Soccer,
wow. Okay.
That's not the case. In soccer is more IQ-wise mentality. You know, in soccer, you got to use the whole field. You got to use every player, including the keeper, which is insane because, keepers are used quite a lot in Spain.
I thought they just kind of like, you know, stay back there and make sure nothing goes in.
All right. No, keepers got to have their footwork right as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with that said, you have to go to Costa Rica for this.
Yes. That is where they're hosting their 3-month development center.
Okay.
Development program. And from there, because that's where then they can fly in other teams and other scouters from different clubs.
Right.
So then they can look at potential from...
Try to get eyes on the players and stuff like that. Okay. So you're going to be spending 3 months just like teaching people how... doing what you've been doing here, but just with higher level talent?
No, so I'm actually going to be competing. I'm actually looking for a contract.
Got you. Okay.
I'm doing, I'm coaching players, but right now I want to lead by example for the brand, especially.
Right.
Is to try and get a contract myself.
That's awesome, bro. That's awesome. I was trying to look through it and trying to decipher exactly what it was you were doing, and I took the route of thinking you were going to be coaching there because you have coaching experience.
Yes.
Okay. That's awesome. Do you have any idea of where you want to play?
What I would love to play is in Spain.
Okay.
Spain. That's been number one.
Why?
Just their style of play. It's pass and move, everything short, passes and move, you know? It's nothing like long balls and down the side and you just a player flying down the wing.
Right.
No, it's more controlled, it's more chemistry based and just, you know, being able to play as a team.
Okay. Yeah, every time I've ever played FIFA, I'm the guy who I always move the fastest guy to the side. And then just whoosh. It's the only way I can play. Yeah. Otherwise, I just get confused with where I'm supposed to kick the ball. Okay, that's awesome, dude. That's crazy. So 3 months, and then you're coming back here and waiting to hear back from scouts, or like is it in that 3 month span that you'll hear back for sure?
In that 3 months. So they're flying in scouts while we'll be playing against the Costa Rican national team. Mm-hmm. We'll be getting games against them, and so they'll be flying in scouts, watching those games, and if they like any player, they'll talk to the main guy for the program, and say, hey, this player looks good. Can we get him out?
Okay.
And from there, you fly out to wherever team wants to take you up, and how you perform over there all depends on what happens after.
Got you. So SoccerViza put together a whole team of their own in this process, and then you guys are playing to showcase.
There's only a select amount that are going to the SoccerViza.
Got you.
Yeah, that are able to go.
Right. Okay. That makes a lot more sense to me now. That makes a lot more sense. And I like that. That's an interesting way to go about the scouting process for sure.
Completely different.
Now you don't really have to like go straight out of college and get drafted. That's all we know in American sports. You know what I mean? Is like you play in college and you either get drafted or you don't. And if you don't, you just keep showing up to what is it? Practice squads and camps and all that different kind of stuff until you either get drafted or you don't.
Exactly.
So it's very interesting, very different. What is B1?
So B1, yes. That is stands for Become One.
Okay.
And it is the new sports brand I've came out with. It's looking to, I'm looking to push this as a athletic menswear or athletic clothing wear.
Right.
So B1 started where it was just a mentality thing where it's like, okay, I have to be the one to actually do the work, be the one to step up and make a difference in the world,
Right.
So the whole thing with that is like B1, okay, you found out what your purpose is.
Right.
Okay, be the one. All right, now it's time to take action to become the one.
Right.
So now, I found out what my purpose is. I put in the work, and now I made it.
Yeah.
So be one, be the one, become one.
I love that, and that's partly the reason why I was like this logo. Yeah. Like this logo is so crisp, like so clean, and it's really, really distinctive. You know what I mean? You can tell exactly what it's trying to say. The B is there, the one is there. It's very easy to see. You even got it tatted on the back. Can you show the camera? Yeah. Look at that. You're like dedicated, my guy. Dedicated. So what's the process been like for you getting this all started?
Yeah, so I first came out with this about like a year and a half. I was working out, and then I just snapped one of my buddies like, dude, check this out. This is what I just thought about this, and this is something big. At first, it was more to like coaching.
Okay.
So it wasn't even gonna be like a clothing brand. It was gonna
You're
be
gonna
just
try to use it to brand the coaching.
Correct.
Okay.
And I started thinking about it more and more. I gave it like a year and a half of just taking notes and giving me more thought behind it. And then after it just turned into a menswear. It's like, okay, this is something that I'm committing to. And then so like about a year after I first came out with it, I was rooming with a good buddy of mine, Delmonte, has an insane background.
Okay. In what?
In just his whole life experience and where he came from. He's from Haiti.
Right.
He came here to play, and he ended up playing at GCU. That's where I met him.
Got you.
He made it on early, so he was able to get some playing time and played for 2 different colleges. But yeah, he has a crazy background.
Is he still playing?
Now he's working, but he's able to get his opportunities for his family and whatnot. So I was rooming with him, and I was working in the corporate world, and I just wasn't in love with it. I was getting a decent check, I was
like
comfortable
working in
with
sales, or were you what kind of?
So I was actually working with the Google project.
Gotcha.
On the Waymos.
Okay. Have you heard? Yep. I've seen the cars driving around. Yep.
Yeah. So I was working there out of college, which was a pretty good job coming out, finishing college. And I was rooming with him. We talked about it, and I told him, okay, this is what I want to do. He knew about B1. I mentioned to him, and we both pulled out paper, and we're like, okay, this is what we're committing to.
Right.
Pulled out paper. I gave my signature, put B1. I told the characteristics, what I wanted to.
That means everything. I swear. It's like insignificant, but so significant.
Yes. I still have that paper, actually. Dude, that thing's going to be golden.
Absolutely.
So I signed my name to it, said all the characteristics that I want B1 to stand for. And yeah, just wait on it and continue building on it. And I found myself, it was interesting that a lot of us, like, I just found myself procrastinating it a little bit.
I think I have this conversation with a lot of people, dude. I feel like it's just fear. You know what I mean? You're like afraid of like putting yourself out there because like, what if I fail? Mm-hmm. What if it doesn't go the way I want it to? What if I put all this time and effort into it? All the what ifs running through your head.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
bro.
Yeah. And so after that, he told me that, and I was like, okay, time to take responsibility.
Yeah.
So, I basically buckled up and, started pushing everything out. I started working on the website, got the whole Instagram page together, got everything together, and, got merchandise in, and just did everything. And all that happened in like a month.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
You just hit the ground running. Yeah. And you built the website yourself. You did all that stuff yourself.
Everything was almost.
So like real ground up type shit. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was really cool to see that. And that happened like in October, so it was like 2 months ago or like a month. And just been pushing since then.
And even choosing to start a business in the middle of the pandemic, that's a bold move, right? That's a bold move.
Yeah, but I mean, gotta be one, gotta be different.
Yeah. How are you gonna run this while you're in Costa Rica? Do you have someone that's gonna kind of try to help? Because like from my experience from clothing, fulfillment is difficult. Trying to get things shipped out is difficult, especially when you're starting out, right?
Definitely.
Like it's not, your margins aren't big enough to pay for a fulfillment center and stuff like that right off the bat. It's like, what is your plan from that? Do you have someone who's going to try to run it from here? Are you going to try to do it while you're still in Costa Rica?
Yeah, so I'll still be working with like making sure, checking on the inventory.
Right.
I'll be in contact with the different relations I have to make sure my inventory is still getting processed and still getting to the correct location. My stepdad has actually been a big help and big support in all this.
Right.
He's the one who's I first told about the brand, and he really fully supported it. And he's actually willing to help me out as far as just making sure shipments are getting sent out.
Right.
So I just gotta make sure inventory is good and get everything squared away to the house, and he just sends them out.
That's awesome.
So that's gonna be a huge help for when I'm over there.
That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
And I really like the way you're doing your Instagram too. I was looking at the Instagram page and like the whole aesthetic that you have going on really says like rough, rugged, but still very premium.
Yes.
Like we're not fucking around with you. Like we're here for real.
Yeah.
This is not just a company that I'm starting with my friends for shits and giggles. Like this is something I really want to do.
For sure.
And the brand exemplifies that. It really shows that even just through the Instagram and the fact that like you were so quick with this stuff, bro. Like between the time that you announced it and now you have like all of this stuff. I'm like, holy shit.
It was fast. It was like a light switch. It just, everything started clicking. It was crazy because everything started clicking. Like one thing came in, I was like, okay, I got that. All right, what's next? Boom, that came in. All right, next. Boom, next. And it was just from one thing to the next. I even had a whole week where so a great friend of mine from Boston that I met when I was playing out there, he came out. I helped fly him out over here so he can build video content, and we dedicated a whole week just building video content.
That's crazy.
We got a whole game in, and he got content in there. We went out to different locations of Arizona, got a lot of content out, and I'm really excited with what he's gonna come out. There's good
that
news.
Stuff still hasn't dropped yet?
No, not yet.
Oh, dude. Yeah, the smile on your face says everything, my guy.
It's coming.
That's freaking awesome. That's awesome. So as far as your coaching stuff goes here, are you still taking clients and doing that? Or did you kind of cut that off?
No, so that's still going.
Okay. You're going to run that up until you leave?
Yes.
Okay.
So I've been doing actually free sessions on Sundays just to try and get back, and also was more of like a donation to support for like the whole movement to Costa Rica.
Right.
I was hosting free group clinics.
Right.
For anyone wanting to go. And then at the same time, I was also, just letting my clients know, hey, I only have this amount of time. I will be coaching up until this time. And so I'll probably give like a week break to spend with family right before I head out.
Absolutely.
But, just once I told everyone that, it's really sad that I'm leaving, and I don't wish to leave my clients like that.
Right.
Just because of the, connection that we built and like the whole process I've been able to help them grow as well.
Right.
But at the same time, I also want to be a role model to them where, you got to go out and get it. Like you got to work for it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so I'm just trying to provide that roadmap for them as well.
I'm sure you can like keep in touch with them and stuff too. And again, you're exemplifying what your brand stands for. You got to be the one to go get it. You got to be the one to go after it. So I'm sure they see that and they really appreciate it. How did your family take it?
They're very supportive.
Were they surprised?
Not really, because not the first time I've done this to him where I was just like, hey, I'm leaving.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
I did that with Boston when I went to go play for a team. I told him, I was like, hey, I got this opportunity. I got to go in next week. And, there's something I really want to do is pursue soccer. And they know that already. So they're very understanding, very helpful. So they make it easy for me as well, because I know it's tough to just leave the family.
Yeah.
Leave the brothers behind, everyone.
Yeah. How many brothers you got?
6.
Holy shit. Wait, which how many of them are older and how many are younger?
I'm in the middle. So
okay, so you got 2 on top, 3 below?
I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 below, 3 on top. 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait.
So you have
I'm
8.
off. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, no, 2 on top, 4 below.
Okay. And Which one was the one that gave you the advice? Was it an older or younger one?
He was older.
Older one?
Yeah, he was. Okay. He's my full blood brother. I only have one full blood brother,
and the rest of them are step brothers.
The rest are step halves.
Yeah. Right. Okay, so that was your one full blood brother that gave you that advice. Damn, man.
Yeah.
So, do any of them play sports or like do soccer or anything like that?
My little brother plays sports. He picked it up for me. He does soccer. But they're not. No,
they're not like super into it like that.
Yeah,
just kind of more for fun for them.
Mm-hmm. The one that gave me that advice, he was a dancer.
Really?
Yeah, we both played baseball together at a young age, and then he picked up dancing.
Like what kind of dancing?
Like hip hop,
like break dancing, and shit like
that.
Mm-hmm. Is that something he's actually trying to pursue too?
No, he kind of gave up on that after high school. He saw that there was no route to it.
That's like a really tough thing to get into. Like definitely. More tougher than sports, you'd almost say.
Yeah.
There's like very few opportunities. Yeah, very few opportunities. Speaking of that, it's like it's good that you're taking those opportunities right now. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Being 23, 24 years old. Because like you can always get a job.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like you can always go back to Google, but you're not going to be able to pursue your dreams of like playing soccer professionally your entire life.
Exactly. The body only gives you a certain amount.
Right. And like there's only so many. Like this is a point in time in life where you don't really have so many responsibilities per se. You know what I mean? There's not a lot on your plate that you have to attend to.
Correct.
So being able to take those leaps of faith. I talked about this on the previous episode about myself.
Yeah.
Like with this.
Yeah.
I don't have many responsibilities. I don't have any kids. Like I don't have like a huge mortgage to pay or anything like that. Right now is the time to take risk. Right now is the time to like chase something that you're passionate about. A lot of people don't find what they are passionate about or what they enjoy doing until super far on the road, like when it's like almost too late to take those risks. So and I mean you're in a very distinct spot where it seems like you found that just randomly. Like you fell into soccer and you were like, this is the shit.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you tell people about, like, sometimes I guess you see people who are pursuing something because they think it's what they're best at and they don't really have a passion for it. Like I'm sure you've met soccer players who are great soccer players, but they don't really like playing soccer like that.
Of course.
What have you ever like had conversations about that with people?
You know, I've had with other people who are passionate about soccer, and I always tell them, I was like, listen, if you're gonna play soccer, like you gotta love it. Like if you gotta love what you're doing. It's not even just for soccer. It's for whatever you're really committing to.
Yeah.
If you're going just about the day without loving without having an emotion towards that desired role you're looking to really take on, you're gonna get overwhelmed. You're gonna burn out. You're not gonna enjoy it. You're gonna give up. It's it,
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just gonna be dragging your body along.
Yeah.
Like you really gotta love what you're doing, and you just gotta enjoy it and pursue different avenues. Like if you're really about it, you will pursue different avenues to get to where you want to get to.
Right. So it's almost like if you're not doing it, then that just shows that you don't care that much.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of players like that. With soccer, like I remember, I can't tell you how many times I've been at the field alone, just training and playing and getting touches in, making sure I'm getting my drills in, my skills in.
Right.
And how many other players I've seen that they want to play, but they're not out there doing the work. Like you have to be about it if you're really wanting to commit to it, especially like if it's sports. Like how many people do play professional?
The very small percentage. Yeah.
It's slim.
Very small percentage.
And if you're not doing what, pros are doing,
right?
How do you expect to be there if you're not doing the same schedule pros are?
Right.
Pros are training day and then they'll take a break and then they go train again later in the evening.
Well, I mean, part of the problem is a lot of people will sit there and say like they're pros. They have to work that hard. I'm not a pro, so I don't have to.
Exactly.
Like a lot of people have that mentality, which doesn't quite make sense to me. You know what I mean? Like if you want to be a pro, then train like a pro.
Start training like a pro. Exactly.
Right. So as a midfielder, what is your job on the field? Like what are you supposed to do?
So there's different parts of the midfield, right? The position I was playing is the center mid.
Okay.
Your job in that position is to both attack and defend.
Okay.
So you got basically you're distributing the ball along the field, right? So you got the defense, you got the mid. So you got like the defense, the mid, and then your forwards.
Okay.
The mid is trying to get the ball from the defense so they can move it up to the forward and find spaces, find passes. So the mid is really like your center. You're playing the ball to him. He's distributing it back out. If it goes back to him, he finds someone else. He's the one distributing the ball all around the field.
You're really playing chess the whole time.
You gotta be. Your head is on the spin. Your head is on a swivel. Yeah, you gotta be looking everywhere.
Right.
So that's one part of the midfield. The other midfield is on the outsides.
Okay.
These are the ones who your flank players who they're sending wide.
Right.
They're looking to attack along the side.
Okay.
To create opportunities for your team to push up, right? Find basically you're creating the play from the outside.
So those are the guys that I use in FIFA.
Correct.
That I like toss up the side and then send a crossover and try to get it in.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay.
So these players are trying to run the ball down the line, so then you could get the ball higher up on the field.
Okay.
Because the main focus in soccer is keep the middle safe.
Okay.
If you control the middle, your team has an advantage.
Interesting.
That's why a lot of times people are always getting stuck on the corners, and that's why a lot of teams play this kind of tactic is that they go to the corners because it's a lot easier to get into the corner than to attack through the middle.
Interesting.
And the middle is too jumbled up.
Right.
The outside is where there's more space to get in.
Interesting.
That's what makes it a lot easier for people to play that tactic. Get into the corner, cross it in, people find smash the ball coming through.
You know what's interesting about soccer is like that field is huge.
Yes.
Like that's a really big field and that's a small ball. and a lot of the time you're sitting there thinking like, okay, with that big of a field, how can someone not find a way around? You know what I mean?
Of course.
And then you watch a game and you're like, these are like hawks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's crazy to watch people play soccer sometimes. Because again, it's such a big field and such a small ball. How can you not get it to the other side of the field? So it's wild.
Definitely.
What is like the craziest play that you've been a part of or that you saw like live?
Let's see. Craziest play. I mean, I just played a game last week where I got a sweet header on. It was a regular, send it down to the corner. You took it down the line.
Right.
So they sent it out wide, and our winger, he beat his marker, so he took it down the line, and he hit a nice cross in. I was playing striker for this team, so I was playing forward, and I was behind the defender, and when he crossed the ball in, it was pretty low with decent pace. And it was going directly to the defender to hit it out. But I seen his cross and I was like timing my run. And as soon as he crossed it, I ran and it was going to the defender and I jumped in front of the guy and I had to like twist my body in front of him so I could get that header in. And I just remember like I made the contact and then I was like falling and like I look up and I seen the ball like roll off the back net. So I was like, I scored. I knew I scored. I was like, let's go. I got up and then they told me that my guy who crossed it in was more excited than I was. He came in like cheering, and then the ref even told me, it's like, damn, nice goal.
Hell yeah. Hell
so
yeah.
it was a sweet play.
That shit doesn't hurt?
No. Really? Not really. Your adrenaline's kicking. You just, you're trying to smash the ball away.
Dude, I've heard I don't know where I read this. It was talking about how soccer players get more concussions than football players.
Really?
Like, yeah. This was a while back, like long time ago. I read this, but I was always interested by that because like soccer ball's not like soft.
No, it's pretty.
You know what I mean? That's just kind of hard.
Tough, yeah. Especially in Mexico. You're playing with a coconut.
Really?
Yeah.
Do they just pump them up like really heavy?
No, it's just different material because in Mexico, you know how you don't have the best fields.
Right.
So any ball would just get popped. So then they start playing with harder soccer balls where they don't get popped.
They play on like pavement and stuff like that in Mexico?
There's some fields that are grass, but like even the grass fields is like just a lot of dirt and rocks.
A lot of gravel.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So and I was watching a thing about boxing the other day.
Okay.
And they say like boxing is a poor man's sport.
Really?
They say it's a poor man's sport because you don't need a lot to box. You know what I mean? Like you go into a lot of boxing gyms and
Makes
like
sense.
they're kind of rugged and they're kind of run down and all you really need is some gloves and some shoes.
Yeah.
And you're good.
That's it.
Is it the same way with soccer? Like you don't really need a lot to get started.
You just need your shin guards. If like to actually play official games, you just your shin guards, a soccer ball, and cleats.
Yeah, and you just get going.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why it's so loved by so many different countries in the world.
That makes sense.
They have access to it.
Yeah.
It's unlike football, because like with football, you need a lot of pads and like you need all the extra equipment and all that different kind of stuff.
Lacrosse,
hockey. Yeah. Dude, hockey is one that to this day, I still don't understand hockey. But hockey and soccer are kind of the same, right?
Slightly similar, yeah.
As far as like how it's played.
Yeah, pretty much. They just have different rules. Icing.
So someone explained icing to me as the same thing as offsides in soccer.
I've heard of that, but I'm not too sure. The icing I never understood it.
I still don't quite understand offsides in soccer.
Offsides?
Yeah, sometimes I see it go out.
Yeah.
Funny story about offside. When I was a kid, when I went to Iran, a lot of the time it was during World Cup. So I would watch the World Cup with family. Yeah, especially in Iran, bro. It's on every TV, everywhere.
I bet.
At all times. So you're watching it with family and doing this, that, and the other, and I have absolutely no idea what's going on, especially as a kid. So everyone's like cheering and going crazy over it and stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember making a bet with my uncle about who would win the World Cup one year. And all I remember I don't remember what the team was. I don't remember anything about it. All I remember was it was like someone scored a goal and then they called it back because it was an offsides, and I was still cheering and everyone else is like, what are you doing? Like, what are you? So funny to think about those kinds of events, especially with soccer.
Yeah.
What do you suggest I start watching if I don't know anything about it? Like where's the best place to start watching soccer?
Best league would be Premier League.
Okay.
Premier League, you'll get, a lot of people like to see goals. They like to see like the scores high. Premier League is one of them. They always a lot of scoring, and that one's more physical, and the ref allows more games to be played. Like as far as like someone commits a foul, if it's not such a big foul, the ref will allow it to play on. So yeah, I'd say Premier League or UEFA Champions League.
Okay. The refs play a big part in the game?
Yes.
Interesting.
Depending on like how they're managing the field.
Interesting.
Crazy. Actually, so that Friday league, that game after I scored, there's another game after that this kid got hurt, like really bad, injured pretty badly, and it was all, I think, in my opinion, I think it was the ref's fault, because from the beginning of the game, that game was just a brutal game.
It was just scrappy.
Yeah. Back and forth, and the ref wasn't pulling out no cards. He wasn't, controlling the game. So the teams kind of had to control the game and ended up in a bad fight. Kid is actually left paralyzed. He can't even play anymore.
You're lying.
No.
Dude, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And then you hear about all the fights and stuff that happen like in the stands at soccer games and like after the games. Yep. People get really, really, really into it, man.
Definitely. And, it's tough to be a ref, though, because at the same time, if you're pulling out cards, the team's going to hate you. Like, regardless, in any game, everyone hates the ref.
That's true.
It's kind of like the police, right?
Right.
Similar instance. They can't be for someone. They can't be one-sided. They have to fit both sides.
And the refs are kind of like the judge, the jury, and the executioner all at the same time. So it's like, it's all on your hands.
Yeah. And one bad call and you're getting chewed out.
How many refs are there?
There's 3. So there's one center.
Okay.
He has complete control of the game. He's the one, like, whatever he calls goes. And then you got the flags.
Okay.
The flag runners, they just control half of one side of the field. And if the center ref didn't say anything, then he'll flag it down.
It sounds like there should be more than just 3 refs in a soccer game to me.
Okay, so like in an official game, then now you're starting to get refs who are like more of the goal line and making sure it is on the goal or whatnot. So you're kind of getting a little more help, and also they've included the VAR replays. So that's kind of another ref.
And what are they using the replays for? Is that just for goals, or is it for like?
It could be anything. It could be a foul. It could be a goal. It could be if the ball goes out the line to check for a throw in. It could be anything.
Got you.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Why is that?
I think it slows down the momentum of the game too much.
Got you.
You know, like someone just scored, or like if it's a foul or an attacking play, and they have to stop the play and then go check the VAR, it just takes too long. Like I've had VARs that take like 12 minutes.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's one of the things about soccer is you don't see a lot of downtime.
No.
It's like with football, they stop every play.
Mm-hmm.
With basketball, you don't see as many stoppages as football, but still not nearly as many, you know, like they stop way more than soccer does. And then soccer has added time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So like, for example, if the VAR is 12 minutes, are they adding 12 minutes?
They do.
Seriously?
Yes, they do.
Damn.
They have to add that time to.
So that's going to make the game like that much longer.
Correct.
Damn.
And like it's just the whole momentum though. Like if one team is like really pressing and pushing and attacking,
right? And you
now stop for 10 minutes, they're not gonna have that same attack when they go back into
same energy.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, soccer is a very physical, demanding sport.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta be going for 45 minutes long if you want to play at a high level.
There's also the stigma that soccer players are pussies, though. You know what I mean? Like, you see all the memes online, like, and it's because of the whole, like, people see soccer players as floppers. You know what I mean? Like the injuries where they start pretending like they're super hurt or whatever like that. Is that a real thing?
Yes. You know, you see in basketball.
But that's like is that
soccer,
a part of the strategy of the game?
There is.
Interesting.
It's part of a tactic base, you know. Not only are you doing it to catch a foul, you're also doing it to get on their head or possibly give them a yellow card and get them out. But you know, it just depends on the player, what kind of player you're going up against. I mean, if you know, you have like Neymar, who's like a high known player, who's a lot of people see as a flopper. But you gotta check. You also gotta consider. Okay, look how big he is. He's not that big.
If he's a tiny guy.
Yeah, well, he's not. He's pretty strong. Like he's not.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
And then he's going up against defenders who are like bulky and taller. So now that becomes a tactic where, okay, I know I cannot body him. I know I'm not gonna win a 1-on-1 with him.
Right. I could beat him, push him out of the way.
Correct.
Right.
I could beat him with speed.
With my feet. Right.
Correct. So that's where I'm going to try and win that foul to take the touch off the ball. Because I know if I take a touch away into space and he gives me a nice body, it's gonna shake me off. He's gonna get to the ball first. Okay, can I draw him into a foul where, you know, if I have nowhere to go, I win this foul and now we still hold the ball on their attacking half of the field.
Right.
Right?
So instead of losing the ball. He's trying to play the strategy and make sure you can get interesting. So and then as far as fouls go, like when you're fouling someone, like you can push dudes around.
In a way, yeah. You like if you're running shoulder to shoulder and you
like nudge them,
you can even fall on like
really,
yeah. Like it's a decent hard hit, but as long as it's shoulder to shoulder,
so you can't use
it's not
hands.
A foul. Correct.
Got you.
Yeah. Once the ref sees this, that's where it becomes different.
Got you.
But then there's also things of holding people off. If I have the ball, I could hold someone off with my hand.
Okay.
I could hold them back like that.
Push them back.
Correct. And then the people.
Interesting.
It just depends on the ref as well, you know, like how much he's wanting to let go, if he's wanting to let the ball or let the game play. It just depends. Yeah.
Do you know how they play in Costa Rica?
No.
Like, are you prepared for that, or are you kind of going into it blindside?
No, I'm prepared. I know that once you play at a high level, it's very physically demanding.
Yeah, you know? And they're gonna let things go.
Correct.
A little bit more.
Correct.
Interesting.
Yeah, but that's why you just play with your skills, like with your advantages. Myself, I'm not stocky. I'm not big, you know. So I rely more on my speed.
You're fast. You have good footwork too.
Yes.
Like good ball handling. Yeah. That's like your thing.
That's my thing.
Yeah, I see I saw the videos on Instagram of you doing all the cool ball tricks and stuff. I was like, way over my head, bro. I have one close friend who plays soccer, and he's originally from Portugal. And
sweet.
Yeah, it's crazy to watch. I've gone to a couple of his like rec leagues, and like watched him play rec league soccer sometimes. And even those guys get super into it.
Yeah.
Like they get into it.
Yeah, they do.
It's crazy to watch. It's like a whole nother world of sports that like I feel like a whole group of people, especially in the United States, just have no concept of. You know what I mean? And it seems like much more interesting than people give it credit for. Because a lot of time people talk about soccer, at least people in my world talk about soccer in the same way that they talk about baseball, saying that like it's kind of boring for them to watch. You know what I mean? Like I personally can't watch a whole game of baseball.
Gotcha.
Just because there's not enough going on to keep my attention.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm seeing the same thing happening over and over and over.
Yeah.
So I feel like a big barrier for people with soccer and wanting to get into soccer or watch it is lack of understanding of like the chess moves that are going on the field. I feel like if you were watching the game for what it is, for like the chess moves, then it might be a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and that's like exactly what my stepdad and a couple of my family say. It's like there's not many goals being scored.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people like to watch. And I don't see it for that just because I'm a soccer player myself. So I'm more dissecting, okay, why did that player make that move? Why is he playing out wide? Why kind of like the movement, the flow of the game.
Right.
You could tell the flow of the game.
Right.
Like if it's fast paced or if it's slow paced, more controlled.
Yeah. Who would you say plays more fast paced in the world? Like what countries play a more fast paced game?
Fast paced games are Premier League. Premier League, just send them down, get them in, and smash the ball. Yeah. Slow paced games would be like in Spain, kind of where there's more pass and move. You're really looking for your opportunity of attack.
So like as countries, when you look at the World Cup, what in my mind, you think about it, it's like Spain, Germany, Italy, France.
Yep.
Like those are like the
top
big ones.
Yeah.
So I'm not missing any in that.
Italy has been a pretty strong one too. Italy, Spain, France, Germany, Brazil,
Argentina.
Yeah.
So are all of those kind of more on the slow side, or are they kind of split between slow and fast game?
They're more, they're different. They're all very different.
Interesting.
Brazil is pretty slow. They're like moderate. As far as like controlling the ball and whatnot. Italy's more slow. Spain slow. Germany's fast. Plays with strength.
Yeah.
France is fast for sure. Yeah, it's funny.
That's interesting. So there's no like dominating way to play. It's really just like interesting, man.
Yeah.
Soccer is a crazy world, dude.
Yeah, it could be, sometimes if it's not your day, you definitely see it.
I'm sure you're watching, you're like, yeah, he's not having a good day today.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then I feel like I have to touch on this because it happened recently, but Diego Maradona passed away.
Yeah.
What was that like for you, being as involved as you are in the soccer world? What did that feel like in the community?
You really felt it, man. Everyone that I knew about it. Everyone in the soccer world knew about it, and you just felt that like that pull away from you. That's like, wow, a big part of soccer is not really here anymore with us, And not that I never watched him play. I've never, I started late, so I came in along with like my idol who I saw was Ronaldinho.
Okay.
He's not even playing anymore, but it's like if I were to see him go like that would be a big pull for me, and especially the fact that Maradona had like a huge impact on this game. It was tough.
Why is that? What did he do that made him? Was he just that good at soccer, or what else was it?
Yeah, he was that good at soccer. Like he was known as one of the greatest in his era.
Yeah,
it's like Messi now.
What did he play?
Messi,
what position?
He played a striker position.
Okay, so he was the dude doing all the cool stuff.
Yeah.
All the stuff people want to watch.
He actually, yeah, exactly. He actually scored with his hand once.
Scored with his hand?
Yeah, and that was like a huge thing for the world, and they called it the hand of God.
How isn't that illegal though?
It is.
So how did it happen?
There was the refs didn't see it, or there was no VAR, and just at that time the quality was just low.
Right.
So he was able to get away with it.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And he was young too, man. He was like 60 years old. He wasn't even that old.
Definitely.
So it's crazy to see that happen. And like I said, it's like when you see someone, like you said, not I said, but when you see someone who's that big of an influence on a certain sport pass away, and it's like it was out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Did he have an illness?
I did hear that he was actually getting surgery.
No way.
Yeah, he got surgery once, and then I believe they were going for another one, and he just couldn't make it.
That sucks, man.
Yeah.
That sucks. So who are people looking up to now in the soccer world? Because, for example, when I was watching World Cup in Iran, hanging out with family, everyone was looking at. There was an English guy,
Okay.
Wayne Rooney.
Yes.
He was big at the time.
Yeah.
Ronaldo, obviously,
Yes.
everyone knows who Ronaldo is. Messi, and then Neymar. Those were like the four names that everyone knew.
Yeah.
Is there anyone on the scene now that's like really making a killing?
I think Mbappe is gonna be one to take up those roles.
Okay.
He plays for France. He plays with Neymar right now at Paris Saint-Germain,
Okay.
PSG. He's been making a name of himself, like insane.
Is he a fast dude? What does he do?
He's fast, yeah.
Okay.
He actually got I believe it was the golden boot for the World Cup.
What is the
for
golden
France.
boot?
It's when you score, or was it the youngest golden boot? I believe it was. He had like a good amount of goals at his age.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he's like 20, 21.
No shit. And
Yeah,
he's already like
he's
putting
young.
on like that?
Yeah.
Dude, so like young guys are getting in there.
I think the whole world in sports is getting younger and younger. Not even just soccer. I'm talking about like basketball and
football, racing,
baseball, yeah.
all that different kind of stuff too. Yeah. Yeah, even in the racing world, you start to see it. A lot of younger dudes are getting into it.
Ansu Fati, this dude plays for Barcelona's first team. He's like 14 years old, 15.
You're lying.
No.
That's like legal? This kid's not getting bodied by people on the field?
That's why soccer is doesn't matter, doesn't rely on weight or height.
That's such
he's quick.
Flex.
He's able to take a touch and boom, he's gone.
That's such a flex.
Yeah.
To be that young playing on a first team, like that's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane.
So guys are allowed to play on. So how does the whole like national team thing work? How do you get picked for a national team? Like,
so
you have to be from that country.
You have to be from the country.
So you have to be born there or a citizen?
Citizen.
Okay.
So I was born in the U.S.,
right?
But my family is from Mexico.
So you're a dual citizen.
I can get dual citizenship. Right. I can go play for either U.S. or Mexico if I get called up. Okay. The whole national is if you get called up.
So you could be playing in Europe and then get called up by either of the national teams, and they're like, "Yo, we want you to come play." Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And but there's only one catch to it. If I go play for the U.S. 1 year, and then later I get called by Mexico, I can only transfer once. After that, you stay with that second team you transferred into.
So like you could play half of your national career with the US and then move once and then play half of it with
I don't know. I don't know if it'll be half of the season. I believe you have to wait till like the next.
Well, I mean like your career. So like you could play 2 years, 3 years with the US national team and then play 2-3 years with Mexico's national team, but then you're done.
Yeah, I believe that's how it goes. It's just one transfer and that's it.
Interesting. Yeah. I wonder why they made that rule.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably just not.
They don't want people bouncing back and forth, or like sharing secrets from one team to another.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I see it like high school ball, or like even college ball, right?
Fair enough.
Like in high school, you can only go play at one high school. And if you transfer, you have to wait. You have to sit a year and then play the next year.
Right.
So high school is like your national team. And then your club team is you could go play wherever you're playing club at.
And that's just contract where you play where you want, see who wants to offer you.
Correct. And that goes like with Barcelona, Real Madrid, kind of teams like that.
Right. How much do they pay? Like the club teams, like what is the pay grade in soccer like? Is there like a base level that they have to be paying you, or is it kind of just team by team? They pick what they want to pay you?
Yeah, it's team by team. I mean, depends on how you perform for the team, right? And you'll definitely, it's definitely different. Okay. If you're going as a free agent, you don't have much experience behind you. It's gonna be tough to get like a good paying salary right at the start of your journey.
Right.
So it's just showing a little more like experience behind it is what they look for.
It sounds like a difficult thing too to like actually get on the field for some of the games, especially if you're not like if you weren't a top level pick. You know what I mean? It's like in the NFL, you're a top pick, your likelihood of starting games in your rookie year are pretty high, right? They're gonna want you to come in and make that impact.
Correct.
If you were like a 6th, 7th, 8th round pick, whatever it is, more than likely you're not going to get starting time immediately. And in sports, it seems like one of those difficult barriers to break. You know what I mean? Like, how do I show myself in practice or in, whatever skirmishes or whatever it is that I get playing time? How do I show myself enough to get the time on the field during real games?
Correct.
So it's like, that's like a tough barrier to break for people, it seems like.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of times, because, it's just all based off like that first impression, right? Like this first impression, that's the impression that sticks with them throughout. So it's kind of finding your first impression with a team that's gonna fit well with you.
Right, and your play style too.
Correct.
Right.
Play style is important. If they already have that player who has that play style of yours, how likely are you to get in that position, right?
More likely not. Right.
Exactly. So now it's looking for a team that's missing that play style, that's missing that person.
And especially in your role. It's like if you were a striker or whatever, right? They want to see you getting goals. They want to see you scoring.
Correct.
In your role, there's not a lot of like definitive milestones for you to hit, right? It feels like they kind of just want to see you being a team player, moving the ball well. It's much more subjective to assess how effective you're being. So it like makes it that much more difficult to showcase the fact that you're like doing what you're supposed to be doing at a high level.
Yeah. Well, so the thing is, that's how they differentiate the culture of soccer here to like Europe.
Okay.
Because over there, your stats are also built upon how many passes you make, right?
Interesting.
How many turnovers you give, how many interceptions you take, and it all depends on all that as well.
Interesting.
So that's how they differentiate that. And then they also got their stats for defense, how many blocks you make, right? How many headers, how many clears you take out, right? How many balls you win and progress with the team. So maintain the ball, find your teammate.
Very interesting. Yeah. All right, so what time? Oh damn, we're already at an hour. What do you have going on with B1? What is the next step? Like, so, what are you planning on doing?
Yes, for B1, well, I'm looking to push more of the brand, right? More apparel out to the community.
Okay, what kind of gear are you looking at getting out?
More activewear, just a lot more activewear, and I wanted to push it out more as like, okay, it's a mentality thing as well with it. So when I put this shirt on, I know it's go time, it's grind time. I'm going to go out and work on what my purpose is.
I'm gonna put the work in when I have this gear on.
Exactly.
Yeah. You already have the website ready to go?
Website's out.
What is the website name?
It's become1.1. The first one is the number, and the other one is spelled out.
Become one. I'm gonna put that, like, I'll link that somewhere around here. You'll see it. Sweet. And everything's available?
Everything's available.
Okay.
I know. Got the shirt, got the shorts, and masks so far.
Hell yeah, the mask right here.
Yes.
He was gracious enough to bring one for me. I appreciate that, bro.
Adjustable too. So you can
really?
It fit anyone.
Oh,
yeah, a lot of people don't really see it, but
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Dude, I really appreciate you coming on. I really appreciate you coming by, especially given the fact that, again, you're leaving not too long from now. So it's nice of you to give your time to me to be able to come here and talk about what you're doing. I really, really, really love what you're doing with this. Like, genuinely, I think this is something that's going to take off. Even just when I looked at the logo, like I said, I looked at the logo and I was like, okay. So I really love the message that you're trying to portray. I love the fact that you're exemplifying what the brand is as well. Like in your personal life, you're taking the initiative to chase your dreams. You're really working hard. Every time I look on your Instagram story, you're playing soccer.
Always.
Every time.
I live there. I actually had a client before this for 4 hours.
No
just
shit.
That one client.
Dude.
That client's committed. He's gonna be a talented baller.
A teenager?
Yeah, and he's like 13, 12.
Oh, dude. Yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I try to make sure that the people I'm giving a platform to with this podcast are people that I genuinely respect.
Okay.
And I respect what they're doing and why they're doing it. And like, I couldn't have thought of a better, I'm pretty sure you're the first athlete that I have on the podcast. And I couldn't have thought of a better athlete to have on the podcast than yourself. So thank you. I want to let you know there's a camera there.
Yes.
There's a camera there.
Yes.
You can talk to the people, tell them anything you want to tell them, talk about, you know, releases you have going on, whatever you want to do.
Okay.
Let them know and then we'll close it out.
All right. Appreciate it, guys. You know, the whole support is huge. Like, it's insane. Like, sometimes you'll have people behind you, but they don't really like fully support you until they see you making a big step on your road. But you just gotta keep pushing, you know, just whatever it is, whatever the case may be, just be the one to step out and push forward for it. Don't let no one tell you can't, and you know your goal, you know where it is you want to get to, and just follow through with it. Really, if you think about it, no one knows what they're doing until you start doing it yourself. No one knows. And you know, you just start learning as you go. You know, I didn't think I was gonna be in this position until my brother told me to take responsibility. So I took responsibility. I said, okay. I didn't know how to make a website. You know, YouTube
and Google, man.
YouTube and Google. So just keep pushing. Really search what it is you're looking for and continue building on it. You'll fail, you'll fall. It's only a loss if you give up on it. Just turn that loss into a W. Learn from it, build on it. Be one.
I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you. I'm looking forward to, you know, hopefully 6 months, 8 months, a year from now, getting on Zoom with you from Spain to do another podcast.
I will be there.
That's what I'm looking forward to, bro. From Spain, we'll get you back on. We'll do an update and we'll talk about the whole process of SoccerViza and that whole event, man. I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Awesome.
Thank you for coming on. You guys know what it is. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. We're right about at 100 subscribers when this releases, if we haven't already hit it. And we've got some cool gear coming out for you guys to check out. So be on the lookout for that. Website and everything should be in the link in the description. I will also be linking the B1 website in the description down below for you guys. So go check that out. And again, thank you guys for coming to this episode. We'll catch you guys next Friday in the next one. Peace out.
Thank you.